Democrats are planning to release a new agenda of their own. You might have heard about it. But Congressman Tim Ryan, remember the Ohio Democrat had challenged Nancy Pelosi, telling me about some of the problems with that. Take a look. So what do you say, as a prominent Democrat, someone who challenged Nancy Pelosi, that message should be?
We can't be an anti-business party. We can't be hostile to business, first and foremost. We need to encourage an environment where investors can make investments and grow and create jobs. But we need to have a positive agenda that is about putting money in the pockets of average people, Neil.
All right, to California Democratic Congressman John Garamendi, on a way forward from here. Congressman, great to have you back with us. Is there some division within the Democratic ranks on this, too, how to respond to this? Obviously, the very fact the leadership offered this alternative tells me maybe they're looking at their coffers, they're not raising a lot of money, or the fact they can't be just opposed to Republicans. What's going on?
Well, first of all, there's plenty to oppose, but that's not enough. That's clearly not enough. You have to have a positive message, and we really do. We're talking about a better deal. We're talking about how to increase the wealth of the middle class, how to make the programs in place so the middle class has a better opportunity to climb up the economic ladder, to really end what has been about a 25-year stall by the middle class and the lower economic income brackets below that similarly placed. So that's the program. There are many things that are involved in that. Certainly the education, the job training. There's also the jobs. Where are they going to come from? For example, infrastructure. A piece of that infrastructure is the maritime industry. We're working on a proposal now to build ocean-going ships in America once again. Some for the Navy, not naval ships, but naval supply ships. Right. And even more important, for the commercial sector. We can do it. We really can, and have some legislation that, if enacted, would probably lead to the construction of well over 50 ocean-going commercial ships for the shipment of LNG and oil. All right, not a bad deal.
Liquefied natural gas and what have you. Let me get your sense, Congressman, on the next battle to come, and that is over taxes. The administration has thrown out there the possibility of putting a surtax on the super wealthy, those $5 million and over. Would you buy a tax package that included a tax on the wealthy to make it more palatable? I only say that in the context of a lot of Democrats who are against sweeping across the board marginal tax rate relief, but might be for it if it included a tax hike on the very wealthy.
Well, certainly we know right now that there's been an enormous shift of wealth to the upper income people of America. The top 10% have really accumulated most of the wealth of America's growing economy over the last 2 decades, almost 3 decades now. That's a problem, because that is wealth that's not available to the middle and lower income classes. I find the proposal that you talked about to be most interesting because, in fact, the Congress of the United States, House of Representatives, voted to do exactly the opposite. They voted overwhelmingly amongst the Republicans, no Democrats, to significantly reduce the taxes on the wealthy, so much so that the largest shift in wealth in any piece of legislation in anybody's memory was in the House repeal and replace Obamacare. It was a massive tax cut.
We're going to take away the surtaxes largely on the wealthy to fund that, right?
And corporations.
I don't think you have to worry about that, because it looks like the only tax they're going to remove now is the one on medical devices. How do you feel about that?
It makes no sense to remove that tax. It is a excise tax on the value of the sale, 2%, I believe, which has little impact, or virtually no impact whatsoever, on the sales, on the value of the equipment that would be a medical device. Does it reduce the profitability of those companies? We're talking about the most profitable of all companies are medical device companies. So it's basically nominal. However, it is strongly felt in certain parts of America where many of the medical device companies are located. Nevertheless, we should not reduce that tax, because that also...
The bottom line, are you surprised that of everything? I mean, that's the worst they're going to do. Now, that can change, like you say, in conference, but it looks like it's kind of mamby-pamby.
Well, we really do not need a tax cut for the wealthy. What we really need is a program...
Well, I think everyone gets medical devices, right? If you're sick, everyone gets them.
You mean 2% on a heart stent? That's going to make the difference between getting a heart bypass or not?
Whether you get the
I
heart
don't think
stent,
so.
you're poor or rich, you still have to pay for the stent, right?
Well, that is a minuscule part of the cost.
Fair enough.
That goes into
but in other
those.
words,
Yeah.
it could have been worse on the taxes for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
The House bill was an extraordinary transfer of wealth. When you take away the health care benefits and you transfer all of that money to the super wealthy, you got a real serious economic issue, as well as certainly a health care issue.
Congressman, thank you very much for taking the time.
Always. Take care.